And here's my lovely little dog. He was bothering us. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start by parting the hair. You're going to part from the front of the ear all the way around the top of your head to the other ear. So this whole front section we are going to part. You're going to go ahead, gather it all up, and then you're going to section it off because we are going to use it a little bit later. And after you have that sectioned off, you're going to part another section in the similar fashion, just it's going to be right at the top of your ear now, and it's going to be a lot thinner. We're going to use this a little bit later, so I'm going to go ahead and part it again all the way across from ear to ear, and I will section that off as well to use later. Now I'm taking the rest of the hair and also sectioning that away so that it doesn't get pulled into any of the braids that we're doing. We'll come back to that later. And now I'm going back to the first section that we parted away, and I'm going to go ahead and section this into 3 pieces. So as you can see, I'm sectioning hair on one side, and then I'll go to the other side and section that as well. Right here, I just wanted to make sure I got the right sizes. So you're going to want to basically take it from your eyebrow and go all the way back. So you're going to want 2 thicker side sections and then a good section in the middle. So again, 3 chunks. I'm sectioning off her left side and the top, and I'm going to work on the right side first. Now right here, I'm going on to that first section on the right, and I'm taking a smaller piece of that section closer to her ear, and I'm going to start a braid. The section that I took is about maybe an inch, a little bit less than an inch, maybe ½ an inch, and that's how big our sections for these braids are going to be. So all I'm doing is I'm doing a French braid, and I'm only going as far back as I parted. Okay, so you should really be going about to around the top of the ear. And then once you are finished braiding, go ahead and take a little rubber band and tie that up so it does not get loose. And now I'm going back into that same right hand section, and I'm going to take this and break it into another smaller ½ inch section. And then from here I will French braid this as well all the way to where I parted, so it should be the same length as the first braid. The trick with these braids, the only thing that's going to make it difficult is you want to be sure that you keep these braids really tight and small, okay? So they want to be very close to your head. And now here you can see I sectioned that braid off, and we have 2 little braids that are down on our head because it is French braided. Then I took the top half of that right hand section, and I'm making another braid. So after I've done braided this, I will tie that off as well, and then on the right hand side of your head you should have 3 little ½ inch braids. And now I'm going to be going on to the left hand side and taking that left hand section, and I will be making another braid closer to the ear, again just ½ an inch, making sure that it is a regular French braid, keeping it nice and tight and thin. When I'm finished braiding this, I will tie this off as well, and I will move on to the next section, break that up into another ½ inch section, braid that, and then braid the third braid. So once you're done with both sides of your head, you should have 3 braids on each side, left and right. Alright, now I'm done with all 3 of my braids on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and take the middle section, and this braid is going to be thicker than the rest of your braids. It'll be maybe about 1.5 inches to a full inch. And this is also going to be a French braid, so this braid should be right in the middle. So basically it's 3, 3, and then 1 in the middle. And then once you've finished braiding it, you're going to tie this off as well. And this is what it should look like at this point. Nice and tight to your head. And then I'm going to take the braids, the hair that's loose from the braid, and get that out of the way and go on to that smaller little section that we parted behind that front piece. So from here, you're going to go ahead and start French braiding this as well. So it's going to start off really thin, but as you go, you're going to start from the left side and you're going to braid towards the right. I'm French braiding in the braids, so I don't want your braids to be flying around everywhere, and I don't want to have the little braided ponytail parts flying around, so I want to braid that down to ensure that it all stays put. So that's why we took that little small section, so that we could braid those parts down onto your head versus just having them free. So just look at what I'm doing. I'm just picking up that hair that I parted and taking the little ponytails and slowly incorporating them in the French braid as I go down from the left to the right side of her head. And again, the trick to this is keeping it nice and tight all the way across. Once I have picked up all of the hair, which is probably going to be right when you get to the top of her right ear, I'm going to go ahead and section that off as well. So you should have a little bitty ponytail on the right hand side. So right here you can see that that is really loose and we don't want it wobbly, so you're going to take the braid and twist it towards the front of your head so that it stays down really tight and close to your head, and then you're going to bobby pin that down however many bobby pins it took. I put 3 in Erica's hair. That's how much it took because her hair is kind of thick, so just whatever works for you. Now we're going to go into the rest of the hair and I'm going to tease it. So I like to section off her hair. I'm starting at the bottom layer at the nape of her neck. Erica's hair tease is better while it's wet, so I went ahead and sprayed it with some water, put some hairspray in it, and then I went in with my brush and really started to tease it. So the way you tease is you take your hair and you basically pull up towards your head and brush it in reverse. Get it nice and frizzy and big. Depending on your hair, you might need to use a comb. Shorter hair, use comb. Longer hair, use a brush. And make sure that you get this tease really nice and big. The bigger it better, because it will fall throughout the day and we want to make sure that it always stays really big. Once you're done, this is what it should look like. I recommend that you just leave your hair natural, and it probably would work better on clean hair since clean hair tends to be very uncooperative anyway. So make sure you use what you need to. If you need to spritz it with water and use lots of gel, then do what you need to do, but make sure that it's big and crazy.